Hi, this is Rachel with Rachel's Reviews, and for this video I just wanted to profile 3 summer movies from 2014 that I loved. I had an injured knee this summer, so I wasn't able to get out to the theater very much, just 3 times, but each time was something that was truly special, a movie that could make my favorite top 20 favorite movies ever. That's how much I liked them. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out. They're all 3 playing in the theaters currently, so definitely go, find them, check them out. You won't regret it. They're all wonderful experiences in storytelling and characters at the movies. First movie I wanted to talk about is Boyhood. And Boyhood is directed by Richard Linklater. He directed this Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, For Midnight films, which are so wonderful and show the trajectory of a couple over the course of 27 years, I believe. And this is similar, actually, but it's the real-time observations of a boy character as he grows up over 12 years. And what they did was every summer for 2 weeks for 12 years, the cast got together and filmed a portion of the movie. And so you see all of the characters grow as the movie goes. It's almost 3 hours, but I could have watched this family for days. It could be a series. I could watch it every day. It's that riveting to me to see people grow and live and experience things. And I bought the dialogue. I bought the characters. I thought it was great. And people say, oh, it's just a gimmick. But to me, it was a whole new way of telling a story, which you could say, I guess that was a gimmick. But do people say when somebody changed from black and white to color that, oh, this is a gimmick? No, it's just a new way of storytelling. And this was so bold and it was so different, and I loved it. There were a lot of moments that really spoke to me. I thought actually Patricia Arquette's performance was wonderful. I think it was really brave of her to show the world, this is how a woman ages. This is a woman, this is what she looks like at, I don't know, 27, 28, however old she was, 30, and this is how she looks at 42. This is how a woman ages, and I feel like that is kind of frowned upon. We don't really talk about that. We color our hair, we put on makeup, all those things, because we don't want to talk about how a woman ages. And I just thought that was lovely of her performance. And one thing I thought was really interesting is the Ethan Hawke character. He has these kids, and the relationship doesn't work out with their mother, and he has, I don't know exactly how long it is, if it's 2 years or 4 years, that he, at the beginning of the movie, he's just kind of come back into the kid's life, and he has, because he's been in Alaska, and he's had this time to kind of recommit to his kids and come back into their lives on a weekly basis. And sort of the longer the movie goes, the more involved he is with his kids. It starts out he's kind of ostracized from them, and then it gets more and more involved in a part of who they are. And it's interesting to me, I feel like, because Patricia Arquette's character doesn't ever get any time like that to kind of think about her family, to recommit to them. She is just, because she's a mother, she's the only support that they have. And so I think that sometimes, she would have made better choices if she'd had a moment to reflect, but her life didn't give her that moment. And I thought that was so interesting and beautiful. I loved how unexpected a lot of the characters were. There's a moment where Mason, the boy, is getting a kind of a lecture from his teacher, and you think, okay, we've heard this lecture in a million other movies, but I thought that it actually took some turns that I wasn't expecting, and there was sort of a level of realism and care that that I haven't heard in a lot of those teacher speeches. Another example of a character that surprised me is his boss at the salad bar, I think it is. You know, that you think, oh, this is just going to be another twerp, another jerk boss, and yet he actually really did care about Mason, and he had nice things to say about him, and he wasn't just a twerp. You know, it's just, that's a tiny part of the movie, but it's emblematic of how rich it is. And pretty much the only part of the movie that didn't work for me was the high school relationship that Mason has. I thought was kind of unrealistic. I don't know anybody that has that kind of relationship in high school, and so that didn't really work for me. But I thought it was still beautifully filmed, and I'm sure there's somebody that has that kind of relationship in high school. It felt more like a college relationship to me, but it worked. You know, it wasn't terrible, but that was probably the least effective part for me. All the cast is really great. I know there's just, like I said, there's so many little moments. There's a scene where the kids have kind of grown up, and Ethan Hawke's character has remarried, and they have these sort of Texas grandparents now, and the kids get gifts from these grandparents, and it's been clear throughout the course of the movie that these people are kind of liberal, and the grandfather gives Mason a gun, and they give the daughter, who's very good as well, they give her a Bible, and I was expecting it to be this, you know, oh, you can't give my son a Bible, you can't give him a gun, but no, it was lovingly given, and it was lovingly received. And I just thought, again, that was another scene that surprised me. And there is definitely a lot of, like, teenage pontificating and teenage kind of angst. But I thought that for a kid whose mother is a psychology professor, I totally bought that that's the way that he would talk. To me, that seemed completely authentic. And I don't know, there were just so many little details that I loved. It's an experience. It's not just a movie. It's not the kind of movie you go to be entertained. It's a movie you go to learn and to empathize with the human race. And I just couldn't encourage you to go see it more. It is, you know, it is rated R, and it does have some language. That's the main reason it's rated R. There's a little bit of sexuality, but nothing I don't think that any teenager couldn't handle. And so, you know, I would give it, as far as content, I'd give it a C, but as far as overall grade, I'd give it an A+. I loved it.